Hi, welcome back to Panic Butter. This is Tony. Glad to see you today. Hey, we got some good, creepy, some strange, some ones from the past and the present. You know the ones you like. We got them together. We're going to touch on them. See what they say? What do you think? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, and you too will be right back here with me next time. Here we go.
Breaking news! Space laser strikes Earth from 140 million miles away. NASA makes history. Hold on to your seat, folks, because NASA just shattered records with a mind-blowing laser transmission from a whopping 140 million miles away. Yes, you heard that right. Space just got a whole lot closer to home. But wait, this isn't some extraterrestrial signal. It's our very own NASA's Psyche spacecraft, making waves, or should we say, beams, from a distance equivalent to 1.5 times the Earth-Sun gap. A significant milestone for the project, says Meera Srinivasan of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, as the spacecraft's optical communications dazzle alongside its radio frequency comms system. Using its ACE feature called Deep Space Optical Communications, DSOC, Psyche is on a mission to explore the $100,000 quadrillion asteroid, 16, Psyche, named after its celestial muse. NASA's grand plan, revolutionize space communication. This laser transmission not only breaks distance records, but also showcases data-packed payload from the depths of space, a feat previously unseen. From interstellar distances to interplanetary leaps, this breakthrough paves the way for lightning-fast connections, 10 to 100 times faster than what we have today. Talk about a cosmic leap for mankind. Plus, it's not just about sending text. NASA managed to beam back 10 minutes of real spacecraft data, proving that we're not just scratching the surface of what's possible. This isn't just sci-fi dreaming. It's the future of space travel, folks. With Psyche leading the charge, humanity's next big leap, Mars, is closer than ever before. Get ready to boldly go where no one has gone before, because with lasers lighting the way, the final frontier is within our grasp.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? They got out there quite a ways with that. Makes you kind of wonder, how come the rockets couldn't get out that far? You know, past the firmament. Makes you wonder, somebody's not telling the truth, huh? That's right. That's how it is always. What do you think? Let me know down below. For us, let's get on to the next one. This is good. Here we go. Let's head to Japan.
This is one of the scariest caves I think you'll find in Japan. I recently took a trip up to Hakone to visit it. We heard a rumor surrounding it that it has hundreds of Jesus statues. Now, Jesus statues are really common to find in Japan. They're basically little statues that are said to protect children and young wanderers that pass by. However, here at Shitoto Cave, it's said to have hundreds of Jesus statues like you see in this clip right now. The only thing is that if you find 3 headless Jesus statues, that death is imminent. On the way to the cave, you're going to be passing by what seems like hundreds of Jesus statues staring at you. Mind you, we went in the middle of the night, so it was really hard to sleep after this. Now, the real history surrounding this place was that there was a general who fled and hid inside of the cave after battling another clan. When the pursuers looked for him, a bird flew out of the cave, so they assumed that the cave was empty and didn't bother looking for him. Now, if you do come to this place and find a second headless statue, I would turn back and try to avoid looking at any other statues.
Yeah, what do you think? If that's real, why would you even want to go out there looking around? Taking the chance. You know, there are people that do it though. They do, and they want to go out, and then at the last second, they're like a lot of ghost hunters. They go looking for a ghost. You see it, they turn and run. What do you think? Pretty strange. Let's move on. See what we got next. On to the prison. Here we go.
The disturbing true story behind this photograph will haunt you. In this picture from a prison security camera, we see a man sitting at a table, an inmate, and another inmate right behind him wielding a metal pipe. The man at the table was Carl Williams, a notorious mob boss from Australia. On October 13, 1999, Carl Williams was shot in the stomach by another gang member, and this sparked a bloody war between mob families that eventually became known as the Melbourne Gangland Killings. Carl Williams, as it turned out, was a very powerful man. And over the next 10 years or so, he ordered hits on 5 different members of the opposing crime family. One of these hits was especially brutal. In that hit, a man named Jason Moran was targeted. And Jason was the guy who initially shot Carl in the stomach and started this whole thing off. On June 21st, 2003, Jason Moran and a passenger were in a van with 5 children. At the time of the hit, the 5 kids were in the back of the van and the 2 passengers were in the front. And that's when a man that Carl had hired approached the van and fired a shotgun and a handgun through the windows up front. Both of the targets of this hit were brutally murdered in the attack, and the 5 children in the back seat witnessed all of this go down. But eventually all of Carl's dirty deeds caught up to him and he was sentenced to life in prison. And that's when Carl decided to start ratting. As it turns out, Carl wanted to reduce his prison sentence, so he began selling out all of his colleagues. And that's what leads us to this infamous photograph. On April 19, 2010, Carl was sitting at a table in the prison when a man named Matthew Charles Johnson approached him from behind. Matthew was carrying an exercise bike handle in his hands, and he proceeded to brutally beat Carl to death. Matthew was already in prison for murder, so in his mind he had nothing to lose. And this was just a simple act in his mind of gangland vengeance. There have been a lot of theories that have swirled around the internet, and some people believe that the prison officials were actually in on this hit, that they had been paid off and they allowed this whole thing to go down. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast Murder in America that I co-host with my wife, Courtney. It's available on all streaming platforms.
Yeah, money makes things happen. That's for sure. Trade money off, you can damn near get anything to go down with the right amount. To nearly anyone. That's how it is. Sad, but true. What do you think? What happened there? Nobody's safe, especially when you're in jail or prison. You're on your own. Gotta have eyes behind your head. Gotta be on your toes all of the time.
The Black Dahlia case is one of the most notorious and mysterious unsolved crimes in US history. The fateful event took place in Los Angeles on January 15, 1947. On that day, Betty Bersinger and her daughter were walking in a deserted area when they came across what they initially believed was a mannequin. However, upon closer inspection, they discovered the mutilated and slashed body of Elizabeth Short, who would later be known as the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth Short, born on July 29, 1924 in Boston, was only 22 at the time of her tragic death. Her life was marked by adversity, from her father's business going bankrupt during the 29 crisis to her attempt to become an actress and model in Hollywood. Desperation led her father to fake his suicide, leaving Elizabeth and her sisters in a situation of extreme poverty. Determined to change her fate, Elizabeth moved to Los Angeles in search of opportunities in the entertainment industry. On the day of her death, Elizabeth's body was found in an empty lot, severed in 2 from the waist. The killer not only made precise cuts, but also removed all internal organs, leaving the body without a single drop of blood. The method used, known as the Glasgow Smile, involved cutting the victim's mouth from ear to ear, creating a disturbing expression on the deceased's face. The enigma of the Black Dahlia lies in the brutality of the crime and the lack of resolution. Despite the efforts of police and the numerous suspects interviewed, the case remains unsolved to this day. Over 400 men were considered suspects, including the owner of a bar where Elizabeth used to frequent, Mark Hansen. However, no charges were successful, and Hansen was ruled out as a suspect. An intriguing theory arises from Steve Hoddle, who claimed that his father, George Hoddle, was responsible for the murder. George Hoddle, a doctor with surgical knowledge, was a suspect in his time, but was never convicted. The evidence collected by Steve Hoddle, including photographs and details of his father's life, has contributed to speculation about George Hoddle's possible connection to the crime.
Wow, that was pretty heavy duty. What do you think? Pretty strange. A lot going on there. A lot to unpack. There's some pretty mentally challenged individuals in the world. In the past and in the present. Yes, there is. But for us, let's move on to Hollywood. You know, what happens there? This already happened. Here we go.
Brittany Murphy was a pretty famous actress during the 90s and early 2000s. She appeared in such films as Clueless, 8 Mile, Don't Say a Word, and Girl Interrupted. She was in a movie with Ashton Kutcher, and the two even dated for a while. But Brittany ended up marrying a British screenwriter named Simon Monjack in 2007. The two ended up moving into their Hollywood Hills home together, which Brittany Murphy reportedly bought from Britney Spears. Brittany Murphy also ended up losing a bunch of weight around the mid-2000s, and this sparked rumors of eating disorders and substance use, both of which she vehemently denies. Then, rather suddenly and mysteriously, on December 20th, 2009, Brittany would die at only 32 years old. Leading up to her death, she reported having headaches, dizziness, abdominal pain, and she was reporting being unable to catch her breath on the morning that she died. According to the coroner's report, Brittany died of pneumonia, with anemia and drug intoxication being contributing factors. Drugs like the opioid pain reliever hydrocodone, over-the-counter pain relievers, sinus medication, and antihistamines were found at elevated levels in her system. Brittany's husband Simon and her mom Sharon both insisted that she did not use drugs and that she must have died from an undetected heart condition. Also, they posed for some really weird photos together after Brittany died. Now, Brittany having died of a heart condition might have made sense had her husband Simon not died 5 months later in the exact same way in the same house. According to the coroner, Simon had acute pneumonia and severe anemia. The LA County Department of Health started to think maybe there was toxic mold in the home. This was dismissed by the coroner because there was just no indication that there was mold in the house. And Brittany's mother, Sharon, thought that the mold idea was ridiculous at first, but then she changed her stance in 2012, saying that it was indeed mold. Brittany's father, Angelo, ended up sending off for a hair sample test to be done on Brittany after she died. There were apparently elevated levels of heavy metals in her hair. Angelo believed that the heavy metals meant that she had been poisoned with something like rat poison, although it also could have been something as just innocuous as hair dye. There's various reasons why you could have elevated levels of heavy metal in your hair. Sharon believed that this idea was absurd, and Brittany's parents had not been together for a long time, so after her death there was a ton of family drama between them. There has really never been an official answer for why Brittany and Simon both died in the way that they did. But there are several conspiracy theories, and I'm gonna get into that in part 2.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy, huh? A lot going on there. A lot of strangeness. You know, in California, there's something in the soil that's called valley fever. That's the over-the-counter name. Look it up. The long name is coccidioidomycosis, something like that. Pretty interesting. It mimics quite a bit of stuff, and it's in the soil. Let's go on to part 2. See what really happened. Here we go. Part 2.
Brittany Murphy was a famous actress who died rather suddenly and mysteriously back in December of 2009 at only 32 years old. Then her husband Simon died only 5 months later in the same way and in the same Hollywood home. Both deaths were ruled to be from pneumonia, with anemia as a contributing factor. And Brittany also had elevated levels of certain drugs in her system. Both of them had reported having symptoms like headaches, dizziness, and confusion before they died. Obviously, a lot of people thought it was rather suspicious that a young married couple happened to die in this way, so here are some of the conspiracy theories related to these things. The most recent theory, and the one that a lot of people believe has officially solved this case, is that Brittany had gotten a staph bacteria on a trip to Puerto Rico 6 weeks before. Simon and Brittany's mom Sharon also went on this trip with her, and they both got sick while Brittany was fine at first. But when Brittany did get sick, it hit her much worse because she was dealing with these heavy, painful periods, which resulted in anemia. And on the day she died, she had taken a combination of drugs like Prozac, Vicodin, Klonopin, and an anti-inflammatory for the pain. But since her red blood count was so low from the anemia, she was in a weakened state, and all of this culminated in being lethal. But that doesn't quite explain why Simon died of pneumonia 5 months later. It also doesn't really make sense why neither of them ever seeks medical attention. Toxic mold in the home was another theory, although there's really no evidence to back this up. Something else of note is that Brittany Murphy bought this home from Britney Spears, and both Britneys thought that the home was kind of creepy and spooky, possibly haunted, although again, no evidence to back that up. Another theory was that Brittany was poisoned, and when her father Angelo ordered a toxicology test on her hair, there were heightened levels of certain heavy metals. This could have been from a poison like rat poison, or it could have been from something as innocuous as hair dye. Another theory is that the couple was taken out by the United States government. The documentary Top Priority: The Terror Within claimed that Brittany and Simon were on a government watch list. Simon was a British citizen and the government wanted him out, so maybe the feds poisoned them. The next theory is Brittany's mom, Sharon Murphy. Brittany's parents clearly did not like each other. Brittany's mom and dad go back and forth arguing about a lot of stuff after her death. Brittany's dad had ordered that hair test because they thought the official autopsy results were sketchy. Brittany's mom found this to be absurd. But Brittany did leave everything in her will to Sharon, who just ended up selling all of Brittany's stuff at auction, even personal belongings like her passport. Apparently, the $10 million that Brittany was worth didn't go to her husband, it went to her mother. Some also believe that Harvey Weinstein may have been involved with their deaths because he had threatened other stars like Selma Hayek in the past, but there's just no other proof besides this. Which leads me to our last theory, the Illuminati. Some people think that maybe Brittany and Simon knew too much or they were trying to get out and they were killed for it.
Yeah, everybody has a theory. When something happens, just ask 5 people, you can find out something different from every one of them. It's always interesting. See what everybody's take is. Somebody can always put together a lead going in what direction, make it interesting. That's why we're here. Now, let's get to the vampires. You know, are they real? Is any of it real? Let's go. Here we go.
A group of friends decided to explore an abandoned house and a barn, located very deep in the woods, somewhere in Poland. They explore the wrecked house and find not much of interest, and then they head over to the barn, and this is what they capture.
Weź ta latarkę. Ciemno. Mam telefonową.
Znaczy kosze beton.
Jaki... No dość kurwa. Wampir jakby.
Kurwa! To jest dziwne.
Zajebista, bierzemy? Co to jest?
Nie wiem. A! Dobra, nie.
Ty, czerwony.
Kurwa, no to mnie skrywa.
Oświeć.
Ale...
O
nie, dobra,
kurwa.
idziemy.
After visiting the barn, they mess with a few things, and then decide to leave to set up their campsite. After setting up camp, they wait till nightfall and head back to the barn. This time, things take a horribly unexpected turn for the worst. Watch closely.
Nie wiem, mi się odechciało. Jedziesz po prostu telefon i iść.
Zaraz znajdziemy, będzie git.
Ja dalej nie mam zasięgu, tak samo. Lipa jest.
Nie będzie, no ile myśli przecież, kurwa. Nie ma szans na zasięg. Dobra, trawa nie jest jakaś gęsta, to...
Tylko trzeba bardziej z bliska, bo to jest przecież takie... Czarny futerał, to naprawdę było widać. Wiesz, w cieniu się schowaj.
A phone light? Come on.
Szukałem telefonu najebany, kurwa. Z latarką w trawie wracałem. Jak to przedzi, bo panie komendiancie.
Może dlatego.
Komendiancie, kiedy wszystkim... Kurwa. Sorry. Zgaduję, że może kurwa nawet było tak, że tutaj go miałem, jak gdzieś szliśmy, to zamiast włożyć go do kieszeni, to kurwa włożyłem obok w kieszeni i tyle, nie? Mi wypadł. Weź mi masz lepszą latarkę. No to co, w tej stodole trzeba sprawdzić. Tam to płaszcz. A ten płaszcz to wisi?
No też wisiał chyba.
No to mi się tak wydaje. Był płaszcz tutaj jakiś przecież.
Oh, somebody's home.
Kurwa, nie ma.
Kurwa nie ma. Nie ma nic, kurwa. Nie ma nic.
Kurwa.
They see what looks like a pale figure with long hair hanging upside down, which instantly sends them running for their lives. And just as they start running, what sounds like a strange humanoid creature can be heard. As they stop and turn their lights off to hide, whatever it is runs right past them. as we can see, they came prepared, but in the end they are discovered and have to run for their lives once again. And right before the video ends, we catch a glimpse of a humanoid figure running after them, making demonic sounds amidst the darkness, as it runs through the woods without any light source to navigate. Luckily they made it out of there, and I don't think they'll be coming back anytime soon. So just what is this figure hanging? And is it the same creature that chased them, or something else entirely?
Yeah, well, hope you didn't watch that at night. Got winded just watching it, huh? Somebody running for their life. Very, very strange. Not what you expect to find when you're out there creeping around in the woods, huh? Something creepy. Never expect it. Always want it. When you find it, though, boy, get the heck out of Dodge. That's what happens. That's what happened right there. And they came back. Well, let's move on. Here we go.
YouTuber Yamaku uploaded the following video after hearing strange noises from inside his home. It goes without saying, but the following clip is pretty creepy. Yamaku has been capturing footage of poltergeist activity taking place inside his home, from an object being thrown to the ground to a door closing on its own. Viewers are asserting that Yamaku has captured footage of something unexplainable, but the most chilling incident has to be one of his recent uploads in which Yamaku captures the following footage. This is what he caught.
What? Don't open it.
Yamaku captures what sounds like someone tapping on the bathroom window. Yamaku thinks pipes inside his bathroom walls might have to do something with this. But then one night, in another video, he captures something that seems to suggest otherwise. Yamaku is recording himself lighting an incense candle when the following happens.
Here we go. Uh-oh. Look out the window.
Viewers believe that he may be dealing with something supernatural. Yamaku has yet to upload more videos on this strange encounter. For now, it's up to you to decide if this is genuine footage of something paranormal or not. Whether ghost or not, the video itself is pretty creepy.
Yeah, it is pretty creepy. It's pretty strange, but, you know, it could be the pipes. He didn't see anything. Doesn't mean that he didn't see something. Something's definitely happening. Just what? And how long is it going to keep going on until he finds out what it really is? If it's actually something, what do you think? I don't know. This next one, this is actually something. It is strange and creepy, and they filmed it. Let's see. Can you freeze a ghost?
That time we slammed a ghost in a freezer and caught it on our SLS camera.
I think they're trying to open up the freezer.
Are you trying to open up the freezer?
Oh, that's like bending over. He's trying to get the first.
There.
Oh my god, he's trying to grab
oh,
something.
oh.
He's
Do you want some? Are you hungry?
Dad, it's our old school thing.
Are you hungry? Yeah, check this out.
Dad, I think he's trying to get an old school lunch thing.
Now I was trying to get into the freezer, bro.
So cool. Whoa.
I don't know.
Bella's in front
I
of
don't,
it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, did you see that? I just shot it on him. Yeah, did you see that? He was punching up the wall.
Yeah, and got put in the freezer. Whoa, he's back on the freezer. This thing crawled in the freezer.
Oh my god! No, you shut the freezer on.
Oh my god.
No, when you like squish them together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so wet.
because I thought
He's dying because of Bella.
I well, look, the time to run.
Close it. See if we Yeah.
Open it.
Yeah.
Dang, okay.
Man, he's gone.
I'm sorry for freezing the mess.
That was weird.
Haha, they froze him out of there. That's pretty funny. Is it real though? It looked pretty good. Definitely good. Let's move on. Let's go see some legends. What do you think? This is definitely creepy and strange. And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. Turn your notifications on, and YouTube will be back here with me next time. For now, here we go.
You notice something kind of off about this mannequin? For anyone who's familiar with the legend, she is known as La Pascualita. The mannequin had stood in the window of a Mexican bridal shop for more than 90 years, but when she was first placed there, patrons noticed something kind of strange. The detail work on this mannequin was unusual. She was noted with eyebrow hair, veins, and even discoloration around her mouth and ears. But that suspicion soon grew to horror as patrons started to notice that she bore a striking resemblance to the owner's daughter, Pascuala. Pascuala was actually set to be married herself, ended up dying in a tragedy before her wedding day. Shortly after her death, the mannequin appeared in the window and the legend was born. These were the preserved remains of the owner's daughter. The most compelling evidence has always been the hands. The hands are shown with wrinkles, they have veins, they even have lifelike fingernails, which is unlike any mannequin I have ever seen. The question remains to this day, could this really be the shop owner's daughter?
Yeah, could be a mummy, huh? That's excellent. 90 years old. Been out there for a while. It's a good technique if it is. What do you think? Brings us to the end. If you haven't already, you know what to do. And then you'll be back here with me next time. Have a great evening. Bye.